Updated December 1, 2017, 162,647. The claim land clearance is a thorny issue in Queensland, but a fresh urgency has emerged with the state's woodland and scrub now being cleared at a rate equivalent to 1,000 rugby fields a day. In a state where the rise and fall of annual land clearance rates tends to correspond with political and legislative changes, there is no shortage of policy promises about the management of Queensland's vegetation. With 395,000 hectares of regrowth and old-growth vegetation having been cleared in 201,516, a rise of 33% over the previous year, Queensland accounts for more than half of Australia's total losses of native forest. The Queensland Greens say they support emergency measures to protect all native wildlife and ecosystems, including tackling rampant land clearing. Their website claims more than 1 million hectares of native bush and forest has been cleared in Queensland over the last 4 years. Land clearing in Queensland is now on par with Brazil. RMIT ABC fact-check investigates. The verdict, the Greens claim, is a fair call. However, while readily available data would appear to suggest the current rate of land clearing in Queensland matches, and may even exceed, that of Brazil, it is difficult to make a definitive comparison. Fact-check's assessment is based on official figures drawn from each jurisdiction and, in Brazil's case, focuses on its 60% share of the Amazon rainforests. While such datasets allow for a comparison at a glance, they need to be treated with caution as definitions and data collection methods may vary between Australia and Brazil. Land clearing politics in Queensland. The Vegetation Management Act, 1999, came into force in September 2000 to regulate the clearing of vegetation in Queensland. Apart from an initial spike in clearing rates, the trend has been a decline in land clearing. However, clearing rates started to rise again when these laws, covering clearing and enforcement, were weakened by the Liberal National Government of Campbell-Newman, 2012 to 2014. The Palaszczuk government, which came to power in February 2015, sought to strengthen regulations on native vegetation clearing in 2016, but its bill failed by one vote when the government was unable to secure crossbench support. In the absence of tougher laws, land clearing has been rising, with woody vegetation loss around 395,000 hectares in 201,516, the highest since 200,506. Labour has said it plans to introduce new tree clearing laws if returned to government. Why does land clearing matter? Land clearing is the process of removing native vegetation and habitats, and includes the bulldozing of native bushland, rainforests, woodlands and scrub. Deforestation, the mass clearing of forests, is an aspect of land clearing. Excessive land clearing threatens biodiversity, impairs the functioning of marine, freshwater and terrestrial ecosystems, drives native wildlife to extinction and contributes to anthropogenic human-induced climate change by driving up greenhouse gas emissions. Runoff from land clearing can also be damaging, including in Australia where it threatens the health of the Great Barrier Reef. The Amazon is the world's largest and most diverse tropical rainforest, about 60% of which is in Brazil. It accounts for the bulk of forests in the country. Often referred to as the lungs of the planet, the Amazon soaks up vast amounts of carbon dioxide, a greenhouse gas that contributes to global warming. In doing so, the Amazon is crucial in helping to regulate the planet's atmosphere. Australia has one of the highest rates of land clearing in the world. More than 40% of the country's forests and woodlands are estimated to have been cleared since European colonization. According to at least one study, Ecological Consequences of Land Clearing and Policy Reform in Queensland, land clearing in Queensland is now happening at globally significant levels. What evidence are the Greens relying on? Fact Check asked the Queensland Greens for the basis of their claim that Queensland's land clearing was on a par with that of Brazil. They pointed to an ABC News report published in June 2017, headlined "Land Clearing Rates in Queensland on Par with Brazil, New Study Finds." This story provided no details of deforestation rates in the Brazilian Amazon. The study to which it referred was the one cited above, which was co-authored by 8 academics and published in the same month as the news report. It also made no reference to land clearance rates in the Brazilian Amazon, or how they compared to those in Queensland. One of the authors of the study, Dr. Anita Cosgrove, of the University of Queensland, told Fact Check, "One thing I am sure of is that the Queensland Greens can't use our paper to justify their claim." She did, however, confirm the first part of the Greens' claim, that more than 1 million hectares of native bush and forest were cleared in Queensland over the last 4 years. To be exact, the latest statewide land cover and trees study SLATS 201,516 shows a total of 1.2 million hectares were cleared between 2012 and 2016. So, what is the real picture in Queensland? SLATS reports are produced by the Queensland government and released each year. Here's a breakdown of annual land clearance rates between 201,216,201,213, 261,000 hectares, 201,314, 295,000 hectares, 201,415, 298,000 hectares, 201,516, 395,000 hectares, total 1.2 million hectares. This total is the equivalent of around 814 international rugby fields being bulldozed every day for 4 years for 201,516. The daily rate was 1072 fields. It's worth noting that the latest SLATS report 201,516 shows that, of the total land cleared, 138,000 hectares were categorized as remnant woody vegetation, that is, vegetation that has never been cleared previously. This represents 35% of the total vegetation clearing. Furthermore, 158,000 hectares of trees were cleared in the Great Barrier Reef catchments, a 45% increase on the year before. And how does Queensland compare with the Brazilian Amazon? For ease of comparison, FactCheck chose the same 4-year period 20,122,016 when considering land clearance in Brazil. According to PRODES satellite data, which is produced by the Brazilian National Institute of Space Research INPE, annual forest clearance in the Brazilian Amazon was 201,213, 589,100 hectares, 201,314, 501,200 hectares, 201,415, 620,700 hectares, 201,516, 789,300 hectares, total 2.5 million hectares. Data serves as the official Brazilian government benchmark. However, given the Greens' claim that land clearing in Queensland is now on par with Brazil, FactCheck has focused on the latest figures 201,516 to compare the two areas. On the face of it, the rate of land clearance in that year in the Brazilian Amazon, 789,300 hectares, would appear to be almost double that of Queensland, 395,000 hectares. But that does not tell a complete story, because the Brazilian Amazon is considerably bigger than Queensland. Also, other numbers drawn from the official figures can skew the picture. In 201,516, Queensland cleared 33% more land than it did the year before. But in the year since, Brazil actually cleared 16% less than it did in 201,516. A more accurate comparison of clearance rates can be gleaned from the number of hectares cleared as a percentage of remaining forest or woodland in each country. In 20,152,016, in Queensland, where the existing vegetation 201,516 statewide land cover and trees study ecological consequences of land clearing and policy reform in Queensland. Pacific Conservation Biology, June 19, 2017. Amazon, the lungs of our planet. BBC, YouTube, August 6, 2017. National Institute for Space Research. New study from the Brazilian Institute of Space Research INPE quantifies the role of deforestation and forest degradation in the CO2 emissions until 2050. November 9, 2015. PRODES, Monitoramento da Floresta Amazonica Brasileira por satellite calculating deforestation figures for the Amazon. Mongabe, January 26, 2017. Deforestation in Brazilian Amazonia history, rates, and consequences. Philpem Fernside, Conservation Biology, June 7, 2005. Excessive tree clearing skyrockets due to LNP. Joint media statement. Queensland Government, October 5, 2017. Global Forest Resources Assessment 2015. How are the world's forests changing? 2nd edition. Topics: rainforests and forest conservation. Greens, Queensland, Brazil. First posted December 1, 2017. 120,258.